He is one of social media's most known and loved entrepreneurs, with nearly 8 million Instagram followers and over 2.6 million YouTube subscribers. He is inspiring the young generation to hustle and work hard. He is the founder and CEO of VaynerMedia, which is an advertising agency working with top companies like Toyota and PepsiCo. He has an estimated net worth of around $160 million. He is Gary Vaynerchuck, and these are his top 11 rules for success.
I don't fear being self-aware. I know I suck at a lot of stuff. I think everybody lies to themselves.
Some people are meant to be B and C players.
And I'm pissed that the narrative now is that you need to be a number one and have your company, because a lot of people are gonna lose or leave money on the table because that's just the narrative.
Coming in at number 1, we've got self-awareness. To Gary V, self-awareness means that you are able to analyze your strengths and your weaknesses. He strongly believes that it is important to self-analyze in order to properly identify how you can make the highest levels of impact on the space around you, your life, your industry, or even on the whole world.
I'm gonna struggle to the day I die of allowing yourself to look at glass half empty.
And number 2 is positivity. In Gary's own words, he says that positivity is the greatest form of currency we have, and that in order to make a mark on this world, we should think twice before we say something negative or begin to feel sorry for ourselves. If positivity is at the forefront of our mentalities, we will see the results.
Regardless of what you're trying to accomplish, you've got to tell the world about it. This is now the world. If you're not betting on this, you're finished. If you're not betting on this, you're finished. If you're not betting on this, you're finished.
The third rule we've got today is bet on your strengths, which directly ties into self-awareness. Gary says that the only path to greatness is by recognizing our strengths and going all in on them in order to amplify them to the world. His mantra is that the world does not care about your weaknesses, so we need to go all out on our strong suits.
400 trillion to 1. When you understand that math, how can't you live your life? That's how rare it is to be a human being. You've been given this ridiculous triple miracle. You've got one at bat, please do something about it. We are living through the greatest era to be alive ever. Yes, there's stuff. I got news for you. There's always stuff. But when you take control of your at bat, when you put it all on yourself, when it's your fault and your wins, when you own it, that's when it starts happening.
Number 4 on our list is to be grateful. Being born in the Soviet Union, Gary V has a perspective of being restricted as his parents struggled under communist rule. Having the opportunity of living in the United States since age 3, he has used gratitude to fuel the actions of his life. Imagining himself not having the freedom to follow his dream makes him want to grind even harder daily.
In way, something else is unbelievably important to me, which is the following. There's a lot of people who want to build a business, who are sitting here who started building a business, but they don't realize that making $100,000 a year and the business they have makes them very happy, but making $200,000 a year is going to make them very unhappy.
At number 5, we have the necessity to do what we love, as this causes us to have passion. Money comes and goes, the economy rises and falls, but happiness is the most important thing. He describes passion as a luxury, something that is imperative to have to live a fulfilling life. He has even said that if his kids find passion in being an artist that might not make a lot of money, then he will work with them to go all in on that anyway. And this is something we should model in our lives.
Forget about Benzes and shoes and homes and planes. The ROI of life is not money, it's being happy.
At 6 is the ultimate importance of being happy. Gary says that we find true happiness in doing what we want to do. He encourages his readers and listeners to find what makes them tick, something that they wouldn't mind maybe missing a party or a day at the beach to do instead. For him, his happiness is found while working, which others ridicule him for. However, he says that we should not take others' opinions into account, for it is our life after all. Even if our happiness does not bring in the highest amounts of cash, it would be a fulfillment of our life purpose, which is to be happy.
for immediate release. I really hope that means for immediate release for the rest of time for any brand. See, press releases are ludicrous in this world. That is giving a demonstration in a world that is now working the room. It blows my mind in 2009 that people are sending out press releases. Nobody gives a crap. So please, corporations, brands, do not employ people that write press releases for you. They absolutely have no impact in today's world. Zero, zip, zilch. Please, I'm asking you, stop it. Because what you have to understand is that storytelling is the way you build a brand. And storytelling is not dictating your story in a press release. Storytelling is a give and take. Have you ever seen somebody give a good story? Yeah, you're right. Duh. It's all encompassing, like that big fat ass Italian uncle who crushes it every time after a couple of glasses of Chianti. That's how your brand needs to be. Your brand needs to be a big fat ass Italian uncle. You need to care and you need to be out there, you need to be authentic from the heart, not a cold-minded press release that means nothing to anybody.
At number 7, we've got the importance of being a good storyteller. Gary believes that no matter what, it is our job to tell a story to the world, no matter our job or career. The stories we tell allow us to form a connection with our audiences and customers, which is key because we cannot change the world all by ourselves. We have to start a movement in order to make a lasting impact.
In 2001, it snowed in New Jersey on December 23rd, which was one of the busiest days of the year. Typically, December 23rd is the busiest day of the year in a liquor store. And a woman called us, we just started shipping, and her case of Beringer White Zinfandel wasn't delivered. The entire case, by the way, 15-pack, the entire 15-pack case cost $45. We're doing about $40,000 an hour in the store. She calls. I find out about it, and we're debating what to do. She needs it for her Christmas dinner. I grab the case, throw it in my car, and drive to Bergen County to deliver it. It takes me 2.5 hours to complete the whole thing. And the best part was, I delivered it, all pumped with myself, and she said, great, and closed the door. Awesome. Everybody, especially my dad, who was pissed that I left because all the customers that came in asking for me or that I could have sold, everybody was baffled. I can't tell you what the ROI of driving through the snow in my car to deliver a case of $45 pink shit to a woman that looked like Yoda was. But I can tell you this, over the next 2 to 3 years, that story became the foundation of how we treated every single customer.
The next rule is that we must care about our customers. To get a customer is one thing, but to keep a customer is another. So Gary believes that it is absolutely necessary to put ourselves in the shoes of who we are selling to. Just as you are seeking their money, they are expecting you at peak performance to give them what they need. Remember, doing business is a two-way street.
Chris, I would say that I almost need her to repeat it, but I think I got it. Actually, I sent it to her, so I got it. So I got it. The reason I sent it to India was, I saw this, Chris, in the feed, is I'm actually normally making mistakes in the other direction. So I tend not to overthink at all. I'm very intuitive, and most of my business mistakes have been to act too quickly and then have to bail out. I have found that speed trumps everything, and so for me, when I weigh opportunity costs, I'd rather start something, both money and time, if I intuitively feel it, and then let it fail 6 months or a year later. New concepts I have for Vayner, new divisions, new types of wines for Wine Library, things I've done for my own brand. I want to push so many of you for this. I really want to push a lot of you. So many of you are not taking action because you overthink it. You overthink it. You overthink it. I always say deploy your resources that you can afford to lose.
The 9th rule is to execute and not ponder. Gary's belief is that society has bought into a propaganda of some sort that says all of us have to follow a kind of model to live our lives, which is where overthinking decisions stems from. His solution to this problem is that we need to overcome the fear of making mistakes and instead see the massive amounts of opportunity that come from making quick decisions. Many highly successful people also share this belief, some even saying that the best decisions of their lives were made quickly.
Fucking pie. 99% of the market is short term. And the 1% that isn't and has the talent wins every time. Which makes no sense because unless you're gonna die, you should only play long term. If you're gonna live to be in 2020, you might as well play to be in 2020. The disproportionate reason that most people in this room will not win is actually not the hard work, which is what I'm gonna talk about probably for the next 45 minutes. It's your lack of patience.
The 10th rule is to be patient. Gary has had countless instances with young entrepreneurs looking to build a dream life too quickly. Young entrepreneurs in today's social media age are enamored with Rolexes, Bugattis, and Bentleys, and are obsessed with the idea of being rich and famous. They see it all over the internet, and they expect their strategies to pay off immediately. This expectation for overnight success is unrealistic, and when the plan does not immediately correlate to success, Gary notices that the person allows insecurity and self-comparison to creep in. If these deadly things creep in, many ultimately decide to give up.
You need to work harder and faster. There's really nothing else. I mean, I'm exhausted every day, but I'm making enormous amounts of things happen in my 18 hours, right? Not only am I working 18 hours, but I'm working fast as hell in those 18 hours, and I'm prioritizing what's important and what's not.
Finishing strong at number 11, we have to work like hell. Gary's method of making things happen in his life is using every second possible to improve his life and brand and to work towards his life fulfillment. If we have found something that we are truly passionate about, why would we not want to spend 18 hours a day on it just as Gary has with his work? So those were Gary Vaynerchuck's rules for success. Comment below which one is your favorite. And don't forget to smash that like button. It takes just 1 second and it really helps grow the channel. Also, subscribe and turn on post notifications. Alright guys, that's it from us today. Thanks for watching.